Okay, on behalf of the Ignite Honorary Committee and the Ignatian Solidarity Network, board and staff, welcome to Ignite, a celebration of justice. Please take your seats, and we're going to welcome Christine Boyle, Director of Campus Ministry at St. Peter's University and a good friend of ISN, to the podium to opening our evening in prayer.
Like waters, and righteousness like never-failing streams. And so we pray, loving and gracious God, together we gather in gratitude, in celebration, and in awesome awe and wonder of the waters of justice Sister Pimentel, Father Martin, Tikas, Megan, and Eric pour forth into the lives of those they serve. So we bless you, Lord, and thank you for all that they have done. You have first accomplished. You inspire in their ministries a well of abundant waters to fertilize the hopes, the dreams, the desires of migrant and immigrant families of Rio Grande Valley, and therefore provide for the needs of the holy refugee families of today. And in that well, there is a font of baptismal waters that affirm the belonging of the LGBT community to the Catholic Church and the family of believers as children of God, whole in who they are and how they identify. And in ladling water forth from that well, new sensations of thirsting, flood, young, dynamic minds, first generation of status, of no status, of who cares. They are worthy. Their intellectual curiosities of scholarship and belonging awaken. To be at a university as engaged citizens of the world, bringing forth a rich cultural identity and heritage to St. Peter's tapestry. And drawing forth from that well, there is a cup that spills over with knowledge and wisdom and hospitality to serve Jewish refugees and migrant farm workers, and mission and mobilization efforts of Catholic Relief Service. Yes, Lord, that cup is endless because of your abundance. And as we drink forth from that cup tonight, from the well of justice, we ask that you continue to bless the ongoing ministries of Sister Norma, Father Martin, Tikas, Megan, and Eric as they boldly accompany those on the margins that most need thy mercy, compassion, healing, and nourishment. Nourish these agents of justice, Lord, and all who labor with you. Nourish them with your word and the daily bread of our great Eucharist, your Son. We make this prayer in the name of Jesus and in the holy waters of justice as we pray. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Christine. Again, welcome and thank you to the members of the Honorary Committee, our sponsors, our musicians. In fact, this young man that played the piano tonight was fabulous. So and everyone who assisted in planning the execution of this event. Special thanks go out to our Magis level sponsors, Somos Community Care, for their great work and their generous support of our work, and the Loyola level. That's where all the Somos people are, right back there? All right, good job. The Loyola level sponsors, Georgetown University, the Church of St. Ignatius of Loyola, and Santa Clara University. We're also very honored tonight to have a previous Holstein Award winner with us. Father Don McMillan, SJ, who was honored in 2012 for his social justice leadership and ministry at Boston College. Father Don, would you please stand and be recognized? tonight at Ignite, we mark the beginning of the Ignatian Solidarity Network 15th year by celebrating the work for justice, both of our honorees and of ISN. By being here tonight, you too are part of our ongoing work to build a more just world. For 15 years, the Ignatian Solidarity Network has educated, networked, and formed advocates for social justice, inspired by the spirituality of St. Ignatius of Loyola and the witness of Jesuit martyrs of El Salvador and their companions. Now, a couple things about ISN. ISN, first and foremost, is an independent lay organization that works in partnership with the Jesuits, their institutions, and the larger church. We have over 100 member institutions in 35 U.S. states and Canada, including Jesuit and non-Jesuit universities, high schools, parishes, and partner organizations. We have 6 very talented full-time staff. They get a lot of work done in those 6 people. We have a national advisory council of approximately 20 that provide insights on programs and our initiatives, and a national governing board of 24 passionate individuals committed to sustaining the work of ISN, including delegates from the Jesuit Conference of the United States and Canada and the Jesuit Commission on Social and International Ministries. So, what does ISN look like? Well, first of all, we look like the Ignatian Family Teach-In for Justice. It's the largest annual Catholic social justice conference in the United States, convening 2,000 people each year, 80% of them under the age of 24, for 3 days of learning, prayer, network, and advocacy on Capitol Hill. Faith-based social justice leadership summits for high school and college students, and professional development and formation programs for staff at parishes, high schools, and universities. A vibrant online presence that lifts voices of lay people and religious alike through blog posts, news stories, and social media channels. Education and advocacy campaigns that include online action alerts, organized in-person lobby days, and social media campaigns. Our newest project, Education for Justice, is a digital library of thousands of faith and justice resources suited for ministry and education settings. The Education for Justice has over 700 subscribing members across the United States, Canada, and beyond. But enough for me. Let the folks of the network do the talk, and we'll watch the video. Hopefully that'll work.
The thing that makes ISN unique is that it truly knows how to engage our young people, so that way they feel empowered to really go out and make a change. Whether it's the Teach-In, the Roubaix Leaders Summit, the Carving Challenge, our students learn to harness their voice and their power, whether it's political, social, or economic. They become the leaders, and we as adults learn from them way more than we ever teach them.
I think that ISN is awesome because they have provided our school with advocacy resources, how to write letters to senators, how to have conversations when meeting with members of Congress. That has been super helpful for our students to really empower them and let them know that, yes, while direct service is really important, this is also a type of service that can be used to really make some huge change systematically.
When I see what Ignatian Solidarity Network, as we affectionately call it, ISN, has done, it has really bridged a gap between secondary, pre-secondary education, and higher education. It's brought parish ministries together, and it's brought a lot of young alumni together, and even some middle-aged alumni together around common principles, goals, and ideals.
Working for justice is a marathon, so it really helps when you have a family around you to work for us, and that's what ISN does. It creates a family of folks working for justice.
Up until that moment when I met ISN, I thought I was kind of the only one who had DACA going to a Jesuit university. And it allowed me to have a community, and I've made some friendships that I see in all the past teachings I've been in and all of the summits I've attended.
ISN has a passion for the gospel's call to not just preach, but to act and to live in the world in a way that's transformative. And from the Ignatian family teaching to the many activities that ISN does, it calls people to live out the education, the faith formation they receive in their Jesuit training and in their Jesuit schools.
ISN in so many ways is that friend that is asking the deeper questions, that's introducing you to people that you need to know, but most of all is walking by your side towards asking the question of what is a faith that does justice.
Your support of ISN and ISN programming helps create leaders not for the future, but leaders right now.
Good evening once again and welcome. My name is Maggie Murphy-Stockton and I'm proud to serve on the board of the Ignatian Solidarity Network, ISN. I'm also the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Xavier High School, an ISN member organization. Congratulations to our award winners this evening. You exemplify a faith that does justice each and every day with your work. I get the best spot in the lineup this evening. I get to ask for your support of this awesome organization. As we all know, these are challenging times for our church and for our civic institutions. It's becoming increasingly difficult to check the headlines or watch the news. However, as I explained to my friends and colleagues, many of whom are here this evening, that I asked to join me, ISN is a great light of hope during these difficult days. ISN brings people, especially young people, together to tackle complex issues like immigration reform, environmental sustainability, and criminal justice reform. Students learn how to put their faith into action and become advocates and leaders in their own communities. The annual Ignatian Family Teach-In for Justice, which you just saw highlighted in the video, is the largest annual social justice gathering in the country, drawing people from 150 Catholic universities, high schools, and parishes across the U.S., as well as from Canada, Mexico, and El Salvador. 80% of the attendees are under the age of 24. Think about that for a second. The event culminates in sending 1,500 individuals to Capitol Hill to meet with nearly 1/4 of Congress to discuss critical issues and advocate for more just policies, bringing light, bringing hope. One of the great strengths of the Teach-In is that it provides a space for students from different backgrounds and communities with diverse life experiences to meet, to learn, to question, to analyze, and to pray alongside one another. We want to continue to have a great diversity of voices and experiences at the table, whether that's students from Xavier High School in Manhattan, Cristo Rey Jesuit High School in Baltimore, Red Cloud Indian School on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation in South Dakota, or Brophy College Prep in Phoenix. Therefore, we're trying to raise $15,000 this evening in order to provide at least 15 scholarships for students who would be unable to attend the Teach-In without significant financial support. We must have their voices at the table too. Please help us bring 15 more motivated, talented, and intellectually curious students to the Teach-In next November. You'll find pledge cards at the table throughout the hall, which you can then bring to the registration desk for processing. There's also a link to give on the screen that will be up later throughout the evening. Thank you for considering, and thank you for your support of ISN.
Good evening, Ignatian family. My name is Justin White. I'm the interim director of campus ministry at Loyola Blakefield in Maryland, and I'm also a proud ISN board member. very, very honored to present the Maura Aaron O'Donnell Emerging Leader for Justice Award. And we have two awesome and well-deserving recipients, so I ask that you please hold your applause until they are awarded their awards, so that way you can hear how awesome and well-deserving they are. Maura O'Donnell has served as ISN Executive Director for less than a year when she passed away unexpectedly at the age of 33. While her service to the Ignatian family was brief, her exuberance and passion for justice was and is inspirational. In her memory, the Maura Aaron O'Donnell Emerging Leader of Justice Award honors individuals ages 23 to 33 who have received an undergraduate degree from U.S. Jesuit University and demonstrated significant social justice leadership in their communities. This evening, we are very excited to present the award to Megan Fanning and Eric Clayton. Megan Fanning. Megan Fanning is a 2012 graduate of Rockhurst University. She has worked with Jewish Vocational Service since 2012 and founded the agency's Refugee Youth Program, which provides holistic, community-based, adolescent-centered case management and mental health services. Fanning has also worked for the Migrant Farm Workers Assistance Fund since 2013, founding the organization's Summer Girls Group, which is for teenagers from farm working communities. Eric Clayton. Eric Clayton is a 2011 graduate of Fairfield University. He joined the Catholic Relief Services staff in June of 2013 and is currently a senior program officer in the new Mission and Mobilization Division. He provides strategic direction and narrative framing for the agency's largest U.S.-based program, CRS Rice Bowl. Prior to his time at CRS, Eric served in Santa Cruz, Bolivia, and he currently lives with his family in Baltimore, Maryland. Please join me in giving a very excited round of applause for our 2019 Maura O'Donnell Emerging Leaders for Justice honorees, Megan Fanning and Eric Clayton.
Good evening. Thanks. My name is Chris Kerr. I'm the Executive Director of the Ignatian Solidarity Network. And I just want to say on behalf of our staff, we're so honored and grateful to have each of you here with us, for your support, your passion for justice, your commitment to supporting others who can walk that path, and for being with us here tonight. So thank you so much. We're really grateful to have you. I'm honored to present the Legacy of the Martyrs Award this evening. November 16, 2019 will mark 30 years since the 6 Jesuits, 2 lay women, were murdered at the University of Central America in San Salvador, El Salvador. Killed for their communities to upholding, killed for their commitment, to upholding the dignity of the people in their communities experiencing oppression. The Ignatian Solidarity Network bestows the Legacy of the Martyrs Award upon individuals and organizations who have made significant contributions to sustaining the witness and legacy of the Jesuit martyrs and their companions. This evening, we are excited, tremendously excited, to present the awards to the Center for Undocumented Students at St. Peter's University. permission to come up here and can stand. Let's give another round of applause. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh, she's gonna. Jennifer, you gonna make it? You're gonna try. Be careful. Yeah, I think you're okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to give a play-by-play. All right. There we go. So, Jennifer broke her leg recently, and so we're really grateful that she's here with us and able to celebrate this award. Since 2014, the Center for Undocumented Students in Jersey City, New Jersey, has worked to support undocumented students at the university, to shed intellectual light on the political and economic realities of immigration, and to create a community where undocumented students feel safe and welcome. Under the leadership of Dr. Jennifer Ayala, the Center for Undocumented Students collaborates with other university departments and community organizations to offer services and support to undocumented students. The center offers access to pro bono legal support, a resource library, academic advising, career mentoring, counseling and community services, and financial aid guidance, and provides opportunities for faculty and staff workshops. Accepting the award tonight on behalf of the center are this wonderful St. Peter's University delegation. Includes Dr. Eugene Pernacchia, President of St. Peter's University. As well as Dr. Jennifer Ayala, the director of the center, Dr. Anna Brown, Dr. Anna Brown, and as well, and a number of recent students or graduates, including Catalina Adorno, Lee Adorno, Maria del Cielo Mendez, Andy Estriplet, and Erica Sanango. And there are others too, as you can tell. So let's give them all a round of applause for their time.
And I am the co-founder of and preacher coordinator for the website Catholic Women Preach. And another proud member of the ISN Board of Directors. I am deeply honored tonight to present one of the 2019 Robert M. Holstein Faith Doing Justice Award to Sister Norma Pimentel of the Missionaries of Jesus. The Holstein Award honors lifelong leaders for social justice, grounded in the spirituality of St. Ignatius of Loyola. The award's namesake, the late Robert M. Holstein, was a former California province Jesuit, labor lawyer, justice advocate, and founder of the Ignatian Family Teaching for Justice, which is the precursor of the ISN. Sister Norma Pimentel is the Executive Director for Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley in McAllen, Texas. In recent years, she has been instrumental in quickly organizing community resources to respond to surges of Central Americans seeking asylum in the United States. Under her able leadership, she's led the establishment of Humanitarian Resource Centers of comprehensive and compassionate care and welcome. These efforts have captured the world's attention, drawing news media from around the globe to cover the plight of these desperate refugee families, and compelling thousands of individuals from this country and others to contribute their time, talent, and treasure to serve and support their brothers and sisters. As you know, the last Sunday of our liturgical year is the Solemnity of Christ the King. The first year we launched the Catholic Women Preach website, the designated reading for that Sunday was the iconic passage from Matthew 25. We could think of no better person than Sister Norma to break open that reading. Sister Norma Pimentel, batting cleanup for the liturgical year. You can watch her on the website. In her characteristically direct and simply eloquent way, she concluded her reflection and challenged each of us to share God's abundant love in this way. As followers of Jesus, she said, the most urgent priority that we have is to see the face of God in every human being, and especially those who are most vulnerable in our community, because Jesus invites us to encounter him. And we're not going to find Jesus on the cross. We're going to find him among us in plain sight. He even showed us and told us how to look. He says, you will find me. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me to drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. I was in prison and you visited me. What happens sometimes, Sister Norma said, is that we are afraid. We are afraid to come out of ourselves, out of our comforts. It only takes that first step that will help us encounter Jesus. And then it becomes easier after that. It is there that we find salvation. It is there that we find that kingdom of God. Please join me in thanking and honoring Sister Norma Pimentel.
Gracias. Wow. Well, I would like to thank all the committee of the members of Ignatian Solidarity Network. It is truly an honor to receive this Robert Einstein Faith Doing Justice Award. Thank you. On behalf of the tens of thousands of families who suffer long, difficult journeys searching for refuge and freedom, who encounter abuse and injustices along the way, the many children who get to sleep crying, hopeful that someday they will be reunited with their mom or their dad. To the countless and selfless volunteers who offer their time and unconditional care for the endless numbers of immigrants arriving every day needing help, needing someone to receive them without prejudice or judgment, for entering without permission to a country that promises to receive the tired, the poor, the huddled masses yearning to breathe free. And today, they're yearning to be safe. As they cross the Rio Grande into this land where they implore compassion and an opportunity to be recognized as part of the human family, in need of a safety and protection from the injustices of our time. On behalf of all of them, thank you. May it inspire all of you to allow your faith to lead you to the other. That person who disturbs your comfort and moves you to be part of a better tomorrow for everyone. A community, a country, a world that respects all life and that holds all leaders accountable to create policies and structures in our society that will defend and protect and uphold all of humanity. May you be a beacon of light that brings hope to those who have been discarded, dehumanized, or forgotten. Let us not wait for tomorrow, but rather allow our faith to move us to justice now. Like Ignatius once said, we must act if everything depends on us, and trust if everything depended on God. There are defining moments in my life that form who I am today and what I am called to do. The children's faces that I see at the border remind me and keep me focused on my mission. One of those moments is from this last summer, when we received hundreds of reunited families. They had been separated for months by the zero-tolerance policy. Thankfully, an executive order reunited many of them, the children with their parents. Every child we saw those days were dramatically affected, traumatized by this separation. One night, I remember, I received a child with her mother late in the evening. Just an hour before, they had never seen themselves for several months. And they brought them to us. As we walked to the place where they were going to go to sleep, the child, who was not older than 5 years old, I was holding her hand, and her mother was holding her other hand. And when we walked forward, the child looked up to me and said, "Hoy no voy a llorar." Today I'm not going to cry. I said, "¿Por qué, mija?" Why? Because, dice, he llorado todas las noches desde el día que me separaron de mi mamá, over a month and a half ago. I have cried every single night since the day I was separated from my mom. But tonight, he said, "Pero hoy yo voy a dormir con mamá. But tonight I sleep with mom." I would like to take this moment to help us recognize that these children and these families who we are seeing at the border, who are coming to our country, I see them as a privilege to offer them what is deserving to them. We have the opportunity to go forth and set the world on fire. You know, all we have to do is take that first step And I don't think it's going to happen. It should not happen tomorrow. I think it needs to happen today, in our own life, and make a difference in the life of those that need us. I want to take this opportunity to recognize two ladies that came with me. They are special persons in my life because I wouldn't be able to do what I do without their support. Miss Dora Brown. Hey, Dora. And Miss Carmita Sá. I would also like to congratulate Father James Martin. It is truly an honor to share this recognition with you, Father. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Carrie Weber, and I am an executive editor at America Magazine, a proud colleague of Father James Martin there. I am also a proud member of the ISN Board of Directors, and I am very honored tonight to present the second 2019 Robert M. Holstein Faith Doing Justice Award to my friend and colleague, Father James Martin. I'm sure among this crowd, Father Martin is a Jesuit priest, an author, an editor at large at America, and he's written wonderful books from the Jesuit Guide to Almost Everything, Jesus, the Pilgrimage, and of course, Building a Bridge. And he's a frequent commentator in the media about issues of religion, spirituality. He's known for appearances on the Colbert Report and his robust social media presence. He's a sought-after speaker at parishes and institutions all across the U.S. He has a countless number of honorary degrees and commencement speeches under his belt. And he is a champion of LGBT inclusion in the Catholic Church. He utilizes his significant online reach as an advocate for people who are marginalized by injustice, particularly on behalf of people who migrate, contributing to the Catholic Church's work to build up a culture of care and compassion that upholds the dignity of all people. He is endlessly generous with his time, with his prayer. He lifts up young writers, but also has a really pastoral presence to everybody that he meets. I'm honored to say he agreed to celebrate my wedding mass, which was an adventure for all of us. I think, the wonderful thing about it was that he really made quite the impression on my friends and family, not all of whom are really all that connected to the church or to its work. And I think a lot of people left the wedding and the wedding reception with two impressions, one of which was, I had no idea that a priest could dance that well. and two, I didn't know that that is what a priest and a person of the church could be like. That joy, that inclusion. He randomly, he just very deliberately chose to have breakfast and meals with my random family who was in the hotel, who were just oh, I think that guy was at the wedding, right? He's just so welcoming, so warm, and just really helping them imagine and reimagine what it means to be Catholic, what it means to include others, what it means to be a person of faith, to be spiritual, to be joyful in our world today. And so I ask you to join me in thanking him and thanking Father Jim Martin and honoring him tonight for constantly challenging us in so many ways to really, truly reimagine the beauty and what our church can truly be. Thank you, Father Jamil.
Wow, thank you so much, Carrie. Our wedding was fabulous. I will pass over the event when the wasp got caught in her veil. So that when I said to her, this is true, I love this story. When I said to her, peace be with you, she said, there's a wasp in my veil. Which is the new translation. I'm really happy to be here, especially. This is my home parish, St. Ignatius Loyola. I usually celebrate Mass upstairs. Sometimes here, this is the place for the family Mass. And I was thinking, usually I'm not getting an award, but I'm saying something like, please be seated for the parish announcements. But I want to thank really the Ignatian Solidarity Network for this great honor. Along with my brother Jesuits, I am always grateful for all that you do, everyone at ISN, to educate people of all ages on questions of social justice. I'm especially grateful, along with my brother Jesuits. It's hard to speak for all the Jesuits, but I think that in this case, I'm permitted to do so. I want to thank you for organizing the Ignatian Family Teach-In every year, which is a great service, not only to the Church, but to the Society of Jesus. That extraordinary annual gathering of Jesuit middle school, high school, and college students, and members of the larger Ignatian family, focused on gospel values, on issues that affect the lives of the marginalized, and most of all on Jesus, who asks us to care for all on the peripheries. I'm also very honored to share this award with Sister Norma, one of my heroes, and truly one of the most faithful missionaries of Jesus in our entire country. So I'm very Sister, I'm sure you know how much all of us in this room and beyond support you and all of your colleagues in your important work. And as someone who worked with refugees in East Africa for 2 years, I want to say Hamudayam that you have committed your life to ministering to migrants and refugees. You help us see that welcoming the stranger means welcoming our brothers and sisters, and welcoming our brothers and sisters means welcoming the stranger. 2 years ago, I wrote a book called Building a Bridge, an invitation for the Catholic Church to reach out to another group on the peripheries in a different way, LGBT people. The book has taken me to places where I didn't expect to go, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and has brought me both a lot of love and a lot of hatred, though a lot more of the former than the latter, thank God. I've also met so many amazing, faithful, and creative people across the country, and even in Dublin, at the World Meeting of Families last year. But I want to tell you about just one family that I met. Last month, I helped to direct a retreat at the Jesuit Spiritual Center in Wernersville, PA, right outside of Reading, for LGBT people and their families. Among the roughly 200 people who came that weekend, mothers and fathers, grandmothers and grandfathers, and LGBT kids, was one amazing family. The husband and wife had 3 kids, and each of the kids is LGBT. As I recall, one is trans, one identifies as genderqueer, and one is bisexual. How does this happen? Well, who knows? But they were not the only family with more than one child who is LGBT. In fact, I took a picture of 3 women, 3 mothers, and between them they had 8 kids who were LGBT. Our morning began at Wernersville with a short prayer service. And then we talked about 3 gospel passages where Jesus specifically reaches out to people on the margins. I mean, there's so many. But the 3 we talked about were Zacchaeus, the story of Zacchaeus, the tax collector in Jericho, the story of the Roman centurion whom Jesus meets in Capernaum, and the woman at the well, who he meets in Samaria. After giving everyone an hour for private prayer, we gathered back to share our reflections, with people getting up to introduce themselves first. The mother of this trio of LGBT kids got up and said, "I'm the mother of 3 LGBT children, and I love them all." And then as she started to talk about her experiences with the church, she started to cry. There were a lot of tears that morning. Eventually, she good-naturedly laughed at herself for crying and continued sharing her struggles. A few minutes later, her teenage child introduced herself by saying, "I'm the trans child of the mom that cried." Everybody laughed. Despite their struggles, every member of this family, the mother and father and the kids, were unbelievably positive and hopeful and happy. I took a photo of them, and they're just all beaming, truly. Why the smiles? Well, they're likely a happy family to begin with, right? But there was something else. How unusual it was for them to be welcomed in a Catholic setting. This is a Jesuit retreat house. And by the way, the retreat was formally approved by the local bishop. So they were welcomed in a Catholic setting, even though I should underline that this was a straight married couple with kids. And none of these teenage kids, of course, was married or going against any church teaching in any way. They were just LGBT. They were just who they are. Still, they felt unwelcome in their church, even though they had done nothing wrong. After the sharing session, which was very powerful, I asked one of the kids in this family what life was like in their parish. How did people treat them? And without batting an eye, she said, "Oh, most people don't talk to us anymore." So whenever we think of solidarity with people on the margins, I would invite you to remember that family. Grounded in love, filled with faith, deeply Catholic, and yet marginalized by their own church, their own parish. I would invite you to help to work for a church where we don't fire people simply for being out, or even for being legally married, where people don't have to drive miles and miles and miles, sometimes in another diocese, simply to find a parish where they won't be shamed or insulted or excluded, where young people don't hear themselves described as sinners when they've done nothing at all wrong, where church leaders will one day stand up for LGBT people when they are persecuted or even executed, where it won't provoke a mother to cry simply for saying that her child is queer, and most of all, where a 13-year-old Catholic can feel welcome in his or her or their own parish. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Father Jim, Sister Norma, all our recipients tonight. I would like to invite Father Jim Payne, SJ, Vice President Loyola Chicago, and special, I don't know, it's a special something here. Anyway, who's going to offer the closing prayer? You just a special one. I am so special.
very terse Midwestern. Let us pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Loving God, we are especially grateful to you tonight for the vocations of Sister Norma and Father John. We are also grateful for the Ignatian Solidarity Network and its many members, especially the members of the Center for Undocumented Students at St. Peter's, Eric Clayton, and Megan Fanning. We pray that their spirits of reconciliation, their extensions of mercy, and their labors for justice will continue long into the future. We ask the Holy Spirit to direct us so that we are always doing as God would have us do. Give us discerning minds and hearts. And to all here, I pray, go forth in peace, for you have followed the good road. Go forth without fear, for God who created you has made you holy. God has always protected you, and God loves you as you are.